Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Homeless Archfiend Show. Filming in his car again. Anyway, um, a commenter here, a guy who's been commenting for years, named Chaos Knight, left a comment on my video yesterday, where I was, just saying how pissed I was that Donald Trump got another conservative justice on the Supreme Court. And just to correct, to note things, to correct things here. I said how Donald Trump got his, second conservative justice on the Supreme Court. I know that Donald Trump has appointed 3 justices. It's just that 2 are seen as more very conservative than the other. Anyways, I just want to make that just correction. Chaos Knight is someone who has watched my videos for a while. I've seen him comment. I've seen him on Twitter, talking back and forth with me on any number of topics over the years. And he left a very long, thought out comment dissecting my video yesterday and what he takes contention with, what he disagrees with, or that we're going to find out what he thought he disagreed with me on. And it didn't warrant, it wasn't enough just to warrant giving just a comment back to him. And what he said is something I feel should be talked about more for people that vote the way that I do, and then what we say because of how we vote. And I just wanted to make just a big public video about this. So thank you for your feedback, Chaos Knight. I'm going to try to address as much as what you said here. A lot I'm going to paraphrase, but anyways, let's get into it. So anyways, Chaos Knight took me to task yesterday, and rightfully so. And one of his main overarching point, was that people like me that vote third party and are upset with who gets in office really don't have much of a say in the matter, because we're part of the problem. I openly said that to a number of times I didn't vote for Hillary, I didn't vote for Trump, I voted third party in 2016. And yes, that is part of the problem. I voted third party. I voted Nader when it was Gore versus Bush. I admit that people voting for Nader, just to put things in perspective, I admit that the people that voted for Ralph Nader when it was Gore versus Bush were part of the problem in that election. So this isn't something like I just realized it was just an election, 4 years. It was just a problem in an election 4 years ago. And it is a problem that, he brought up the point that, I vote in Pennsylvania, one of the 3 key states that really flipped the election for Trump. So if I can't suck up enough pride or whatever to vote for Hillary, then why do you get so upset with what Trump does in office? Like, you didn't do your one little small part. And even he said, my one vote wouldn't have turned the election for Hillary if I voted for Hillary or anything like that. But there is so many people like me that couldn't just say, you know what, I hate Hillary, but at the end of the day, I'm going to hate what Donald Trump does when he gets in office, like electing non-progressive justices to the Supreme Court. And Chaos Knight even brought up that, that was one of the hot topics going into the election. I fully agree, because I remember hearing that on a number of circumstances, a number of times, that Supreme Court justices are going to be named in the next 4 years, very probably so, and it ended up being 3. So why didn't I just vote for Hillary? Because she wouldn't have appointed 3 justices that were anywhere near as conservative or against progressive movement in the country as Trump would pick. And he's absolutely right. Like, it is. It's I can imagine that people that look at people like me from that perspective, it's mind-numbing that we can't, like, people like me can't get over ourselves and just vote for Hillary. And I'll admit, to use the arrogant word that I used with Barack Obama on the last video, that people like me were just so arrogant in seeing the polling that, everyone else has my back. Because honestly, my attitude in that election was, Trump is not going to win, Hillary is going to win, but I'll be damn certain if I'm going to support her. Did I say that right? Anyways, I'm damn sure I'm not going to support her. Um, so it was just kind of just like I hate Hillary so much, and I hate her even more because she's a loser and she lost. She lost to, like I said in the last video, the reality TV show host. And that pissed me off even more. And therefore, maybe that's something I needed to explain more because Chaos Knight doesn't understand why I'm so upset. It's just like, it's like I'm not so upset. But to be fair, I have always said I am mad at more Democrats in this whole process than I am at Republicans. I've said that numerous times. So to be fair and to my credit, I am still and always am still more mad at Hillary Clinton than I am at Donald Trump in that election. Like, that's just 100% what my stance has been from the get-go. So it is just that I'm so mad that Hillary messed things up in the minds of enough voters that she lost to this vile grabber in the pussy guy. Like my mind is blown that she lost to this guy. And so, you know, I can understand someone like Chaos Knight seeing someone like me saying, like, I hate that Democrats, you know, supported this lady, got her on the ticket, etc. It's like, well, then why didn't you support her if you then hate the decisions that Trump makes? I understand fully, Chaos Knight. I understand fully how frustrated it must be because he himself said, like, you know, he's a Bernie Sanders supporter. He said you voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary. But you could still suck up your pride and vote for Hillary Clinton because you want progressive change in America, and Hillary is a much better chance of getting progressive change in the country than it is for Donald Trump. So I understand people like Chaos Knight being frustrated with this, and we're not actually in much disagreement with each other. Because again, he took me to task, and people like me to task, and it's rightfully so. Rightfully so. People like us should be taken to task, examined, and questioned why we don't just suck up our pride, vote for the lesser of two evils, and then complain about it if the other guy wins that is against progressive change. So, yeah, this is something that should be talked about, examined, etc. And thank you again, Chaos Knight. You gave your a very long, thought out response. Sorry, I burped, and I did it subtly because I didn't want to, you know, be rude. Anyway, but yeah, it is a problem. It is a problem. And someone like me who is a big believer in the two-party system, who is a big believer in the Electoral College, and I could make a whole separate video about that. And it's crazy. It's so many people say they love hearing me talk about politics, and I hate talking about politics. I hate hyper politics. You know, not to be confused with hyper virtue, because you could be hyper virtuous about something, but when you become hyper virtuous and it parallels with hyper politicism, I just like, oh, I can't stand it. Anyway, so yeah, it is a problem. I admit fully that I'm part of the problem. So yeah, Chaos Knight, we actually don't disagree with much of anything. Other than the fact that, you know, I'm too prideful in who I vote for. Like, and I feel I still reserve the right to complain. But again, my complaints are veiled in the disappointments of the Democratic Party at this point. And again, that's been my stance fully from the get-go. So it's not like I'm disappointed that, you know, so many people voted for Trump or enough people voted for Trump in key states that swung the Electoral College in his favor. It's disappointment that the Democratic Party and Democratic voters put Hillary on the ticket and that not enough of them voted to have her win. Because, again, I take who I pick in an election that seriously. And, you know, a lot of people are saying how, like, you know, Biden and Kamala Harris are just an even worse combination this time around, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. So who knows what is going to happen in this next election. I even said to someone said, what do you expect's going to happen on election night? And I said that we're not going to find out who the president is. The only way we're going to find out is if Trump is the clear outright winner. Anything else, and he'll just contest. He'll say like, oh, well, there's millions of ballots that got lost in the mail, and there's corruption in this state and that state. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of happy citizens on election night who are going to find a sitting president that's going to still be sitting, even if it looks like he lost. Anyway, that's a whole different topic for a later date. So anyways, thank you, KS Knight. That was very good, thought out feedback. And I just want to say that, yes, I fully admit that people like me are a problem. And what are we going to do about it? That seems to be the biggest question. But let's find out what happens. This time I told him that I have a feature, and this is before Chaos Knight even replied. I have a video that I'm going to put out after the election with who I voted for and why. Because I can tell you, a lot of my thought hasn't changed, and I don't want to give away who I'm voting for, but you can draw your own conclusions from that. Anyway, have a good day, everyone, and I'm going to go to the gym now. That is all.